Hi, everybody. This is my hopefully concise demo and instructional video on Google Meet. So Google made all the functions of Google Meet available to all K-12 school districts who were part of the G Suite for Education domain uh, last week, and they made all upgrade functions available as well. So I'm going to try to do a quick demo of the features, give you a couple hints for successful usage, maybe some things to avoid, and then of course, if you have any questions, you can let me know. So the first thing is Hangouts versus Meets. They're used interchangeably. Sometimes Hangouts was the original Google Chat product, a lot like Skype, video conferencing, voice calling, as well as a chat feature. It was made basically to be a one-on-one, face-to-face type of application. Meet is an extension of that, and it's designed for group video conferencing. The two advantages that Meet gives you over Hangouts is it generates a web code that you can just push out to students or anybody, but you could generate a code, put it in Google Classroom, students just click that code and then get to the lobby of your meeting, and then you approve them entering. I'll show you that process in just a second. The other advantage to Meet is that you can archive, you can record the sessions, and then get a recording in your Google Drive that you can post anywhere that you want for anybody who would need to see it. I'm going to try to demonstrate that as well. So the first thing is, how do I get to it? Well, if you just go to Google Drive and you go to your waffle, you'll find Meet. It'll be further down your list. I moved it up with my most used apps because I've been using it quite a bit lately. I've been video conferencing with some colleagues in other districts, as well as some of my AP World friends from around the country. And in all cases, it's worked really, really well. You may have also heard of Zoom meetings. Zoom made all functions 100% free for school districts through July 1st as well. But I think Google Meet is the way to go with our students because it's part of the G Suite for Education package, and students can access it on their Schuylkill Valley Chromebooks. So I think it probably provides the best functionality for us, and we'll have access to it moving forward beyond July 1st. Maybe not all the upgrade features, but if you get familiar with this format, you'll be able to use it because it's been available to us for 2 years now. So how do we launch it? Well, you click Meet here, and it'll take you to this screen, right? And you can join or start a meeting. Nothing scheduled today. So if I had anything scheduled, and you can schedule on Google Calendar, which I can demonstrate for you if you think that would be useful for you. I'm not going to do it in this tutorial just to save time, but join or start a meeting, and I'm going to call this Meet Demo, continue, and then it takes me to this screen. So it'll start my webcam and my microphone. It'll ask me for permission if I haven't already used it before, and it'll say no one else is here. All right, so I'm going to join now, and you'll notice right here all this join info shows up. Copy join info, or you can add people. You can click this and then use their Schuylkill Valley email addresses, which you can find here. And if you start typing, I'll just type Cindy Taylor, and then that comes up, or I could invite Dr. Merzeski or Cindy Roden. So it's just like Google Drive and Google Classroom. You start typing names, and you can add them or invite them to your meeting, right? But I'm not going to do that right now. So I copied that join info. I'm going to switch over to another window, all right? And then, so you can see I'm signed in here. This is tdwhitman@gmail.com. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to copy that Meet code, right? And it's got all that other information in there. I just want the web address. And you can just copy that web address, put it in Google Classroom. Students click on it, and they will get to the screen that is basically like the lobby for your Meet, which you're going to see here. All right. Allow Meet to use your camera and microphone. You have to allow it or you can't get in. All right. Now notice it says right here, since this account, my personal account, is not the organizer of the meeting, I have to ask to join. All right. So I click ask, and then it'll just spin. When I go back to my other page, this pop-up is now here, right? This is my T. Whitman at Schuylkill Valley organizer account, and I will admit. I'm going to get a bit of an echo here on the microphone to get rid of that. So I'm going to close that one down. There have been a couple upgrades in the past week. So you, as the teacher organizer, can mute and remove participants from the meeting at any time. Only participants can unmute themselves, however. So if a student wants to say something in the meeting, they are the only ones who can unmute themselves. You can't do that, and that's a privacy protection for participants. But if you click right down here on the left-hand side, you can get all that join info. You can put attachments on that you would like everybody to receive. That'll come through the chat function, which is available over on the side here. So you'll notice right down here you have the turn off camera. I click that, and then it just goes to my icon, and I can turn off my microphone as well. All right, and turn them back on and toggle back on. All right, at any time, if I want to leave the call, I just click the hang up button and I will exit the room. Right down here, you'll notice it says turn on captions. This is a useful feature. If I turn this on, Google will immediately start captioning everything that I'm saying. And it works pretty well. It's just like the speech to text in Google Docs. It's pretty powerful. So if you think that's useful, you can turn that on. All right, also down here, you've got 3 dots in the lower right hand, your menu for Google Meet. Click on that and you can record the meeting, which is a really nice feature. So if you're having a chat with some students in your class, but all students can't or are not attending, you can record the meeting and you will get you'll get a notification when the recording is ready. It will be stored in a folder in your Google Drive called Google Meet. And you can go in there and get the recordings, though the default is by date. So you can actually take those recordings and put them into Google Classroom then for students. Again, as I mentioned with Screencastify, the Save to Drive feature is really slow right now with all the people nationwide who are using Drive. So that may take a while, just so you're aware of that. It's not instantaneous. So, but I would say if you do your chat, probably by the next morning when you wake up, that recording would be ready and you can post it in Classroom for any students who want it or weren't able to attend. So I'm going to hit the record meeting. This may cause some audio video issues, but I'm just going to do a sample real quick. Ask for consent, accept. It will tell everybody that's in the meeting, hey, Todd Whitman has requested to record this meeting. We just want to make you aware that that is going to happen. And as long as it's recording, it's going to be right up here in the upper left-hand side. All right, and then when I want to stop, I click stop recording, and then right there, this recording will be saved to Google Drive, and it will automatically create a Google Meet folder inside your Drive, and all your recordings will be placed in there, and it'll be stamped with the date and the time so that you can find them easier when you want to post them somewhere. And you can also click on them and rename them. Other options here in your menu, you can change the layout. The auto layout right here is, this works on audio. So whoever in the call is making the most noise that the mic is detecting, it will automatically switch to their video audio screen. This can be a little bit annoying, to be honest. That's what the auto feature does. The sidebar is probably the most useful for teachers. So I'm going to click on that and show you what it looks like. It'll be right down here. And you can click on each individual and mute their audio, which is useful, especially if you've got a large group of students, or you can actually remove them from the call by clicking the little minus sign that'll be on the lower right-hand side of their icon and name. And if somebody's being disruptive or they're having technical issues that are, detracting from your overall call, you can remove them. And if you record the call, you can send it to them, which is pretty nice. All right. So you just click anywhere off there and then it goes back. Other features in here, you can turn on captions. You can go to settings. This is basically audio and video. And your chat function is right here. And that might be useful to have. So you can message everybody kind of like a back channel in there, or students could ask questions. If you mute all of them and then they write their questions, you can answer the questions in kind of real time and scroll down through the chat messages. You can also put links in the chat. You can upload, specific resources for students to use. The other thing that's really nice is if you post the link to your Google Meet in Classroom, you can post docs along with that link that are useful for the students, whatever it is, a reading or talking points or reminders or project guidelines or whatever it happens to be. You can put them all in there. All right, so click there, that goes away. So the last thing I want to show you here is present now, right down here. So you would use this to present something that's on your computer to everybody in the Meet. Now, if you think about this, you need to be careful about what else is on your computer and other windows and other application tabs when you do this. If you have your email on another window, and I closed email for this, there may be things in your email that you don't want students to see. So, whatever that is. Any personal information, of course. So just be aware, and it'll warn you. You'll see here before you present. Are you sure you want to present to everybody? So I'm going to click present now, your entire screen or a window. So I'm going to click a window and show you what that looks like. I have two windows open right now. I've got this window with 3 tabs, Drive, this Google Meet that's going on, and my calendar. And I have this other window that I just pulled up some sample material. So I'm going to click that one and share. And then you are presenting your screen. You're presenting to everyone. All right. So when I go to that other window, right, this is just a presentation I have on performance tasks. I have here the best place to travel with your dog, which is a website listing great places to travel with your dog, right? So anything that you have on here, you could have a doc, you could have project guidelines, you could have anything. But notice right down here on the right-hand side, you're presenting to everyone. When I go back to my Google Meet window, you're presenting to everyone. Presentation, you, all right? So you're warned multiple times that you're presenting and everybody can see whatever it is that you're doing on your screen at that time. So you want to be aware of that. When you're done presenting, click stop presenting. It'll come back to your video window and you can carry on with your meeting. Okay, couple of reminders. First off, you need to be aware that this does require a fair amount of bandwidth, both for you and your students. So if you've got a class of 25 kids and all 25 kids want to connect with you at once, that may be an issue for some of the students in class. Could actually be an issue for you depending on time of the day and web traffic and your internet connection at home. All of those could be factors. You can decrease bandwidth by turning off your camera. That's going to save a little bit. You might want to use this function to create like an office hours kind of daily schedule where, every day between noon and 1 o'clock, I'm available at this link. Any student who clicks it can join, they can talk, ask you questions, just check in with you, which is how some people at Schuylkill Valley are already using it with students. Google was made aware by teachers early on last week that there were several features, functions in Google Meets that don't really work well for school settings. One of them was Any participant who you allow in through that join process could reasonably come back to that Google Meet on their own using that link. So there were reports of students in teachers' classes around the country who would use that link to rejoin a video conference with each other with no supervision. Google is aware of this, they're addressing it. They're now going to change that of when the last person leaves the room, that link is shut down forever. They said that'll be fully functional in 2 to 3 weeks. For now, I recommend that you post your link in Google Classroom and then remove the link from Google Classroom when you are finished with the meeting so that students can't easily find it and rejoin an unsupervised video chat. In 2 to 3 weeks, this won't be an issue anymore, should we need it, but for now it is. Students could, until 3 days ago, until Thursday, I believe, students could mute each other in the Meet room and could kick each other out of the meeting room. Google changed that immediately as soon as they were made aware of it. Now you, as the organizer, are the only people who can mute everybody in the room or kick anybody out of the room. So that's an upgrade that they made immediately. So that's Google Meet in a nutshell. You can schedule meetings on your calendar. I'll show that to you briefly in another video. We're going to be doing several Google Meet test runs for anybody who's interested in seeing how it works before you use it with students. But if you feel confident after seeing this that you can do it, give it a shot. All right, good luck. Let me know if I can help.